While playing on the beach, the little girl discovered something strange. A huge cruise ship appeared on the sea. It was heading straight for shore. At first, the parents seemed calm and thought the ship will stop on its own. Who would have thought that the cruise ship was like a steel behemoth? It arrived not far away in the blink of an eye. The family quickly got up and fled the shore. They didn't know what was happening. They quickly returned to their vacation villa, but the home was no longer connected to the internet. However, they didn't realize it. The apocalyptic crisis had arrived. He planned to visit his neighbor a few kilometers away. In fact, he knew the neighbor was definitely not at his home in this village, but he still wanted to try his luck. But when he arrived, he noticed something was wrong. The yard was a mess. It didn't look like it had been vandalized. The gate was also open. When he pushed the door open and entered the house, I found water stains all over the floor, and the empty house was in a mess. George was in the neighbor's garage. He found a box, and inside the box, he found a satellite phone, but the satellite phone was fully charged. There was no signal at all. Jack, on the other hand, was heading to the city to get information. On the road, he saw an elderly woman asking for help, but the woman was speaking Spanish. Jack couldn't understand what the woman was saying. After a long conversation, Jack decided to drive away. George, on the other hand, arrived at the beach. He discovered a valuable watch buried in the sand. However, when he pulled the watch out of the sand, under the watch, a severed arm was revealed. After walking away from the woman who had called for help, he wanted to continue driving towards the town. Unexpectedly, not far from the road, at the end of the road, a thick red smoke slowly rose. The red smoke rose higher and higher, getting closer and closer. It was actually heading in his direction. Jack immediately turned the car around. He turned and ran, but no matter how much he accelerated, it seemed like he had no time to escape. There was no way to escape the circle of billowing smoke. On the other side, George, terrified by the severed hand, stood up, looking around. On this beach, it was filled with broken limbs and a large amount of aircraft wreckage. Before George could figure out what was happening, in the distance, suddenly, a plane flew towards him at high speed. It looked like it was about to collide. George ran. A girl was playing in the woods on the other side. Suddenly, he saw a mansion not far away. He wanted to ask his brother to go over and take a look, but his brother said he was hungry. He wanted to go back and eat. At this point, George finally returned home. He told Julia about the strange situation he had encountered. George originally thought this incident was similar to the hacker attack in the Philippines a few years ago. It simply took control of some computers and paralyzed the network. They didn't expect the power of this attack to be greater than they had ever seen. While the two were talking, suddenly, a piercing sound erupted.